Hello again, I'm Jay Hicks with Gerald Properties, and we're back at Reviving Goolrick's. But you can perhaps take a look at the scene that I'm in right now, and we're not in Goolrick's. Instead, we've brought you into the vault of Goolrick's, where we've been able to bring a lot of the artifacts and historical features that we found in our exploration, demolition, and cleaning up of the building itself. And I'm happy to be here with Kylie Thompson of the Fredericksburg Area Museum again, who you may remember from a previous episode when she invited us into the museum to check out some of the pharmaceutical artifacts that we had located there. So pleased to have her here to take a look at some of the stuff that we found. How are you doing, Kylie?
I'm good. Thank you for letting me into the vault here. It has been like Christmas. You guys have some really cool stuff, and it probably took about 2 hours to decide what I was going to talk about today, just because I want to talk about all of it.
Well, it's been incredible for us to experience, and to see the enthusiasm you have over it only reinforces what we thought we had. And we have some of them on display behind us here that are visually pleasing. We've got some of the things that people may be able to recognize, scales and book stuff, but on the table, as you said, you found some particular items that you thought were of interest. So why don't you take us down the road and tell us what you found?
All right, well, we'll start here with what's right in front of me, these mortar and pestles. As you can see, they are gorgeous. They come in all different sizes and shades and shapes and materials, and some people are probably wondering, why are there so many? Well, most of these are actually promotional gifts from companies. So they would come to the pharmacist and say, well, if you buy X amount of my medication, I will give you this nifty gift. Right. And so we actually have one here. It has the name of the medication on there. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It's a cough and cold medication, but just so you remember who you're buying from. But what's really neat about a lot of these is there's this Latin phrase on them. This is secundum artem, and that means according to the art. And that's a big pharmaceutical phrase, which means you're going to apply your skills the best you can to do this art of making these medications for people.
And that's really what Goolrick's represented. It was a compounding pharmacy. So these guys were, and I hadn't thought of it that way before, but they were essentially artists bringing all these pharmaceutical supplies together into the things that worked in our bodies the way they intended. Definitely.
And it was more important than ever to almost be perfect about it, because you're treating people, you're putting these often dangerous medications into people's bodies. So it really is an art in and of itself. And so most of these really highly decorative ones, they probably wouldn't have used. They would have sat on the shelf, and they would have used something more practical. This one actually has a lip on it so you can pour, and because it's that marble, it's a little more sturdy. But as we kind of talked about last time, going to these old apothecaries and pharmacies was not just that practical experience of getting your medication, but it was a visual experience as well. So if you go in, you're going to see the shelves lined with these beautiful pieces and these bottles of all different colors. And that actually kind of leads me into the next thing, is you're also going to see a lot of stuff like this. So this is an inverted show globe, and historically, we don't 100% know why these were created. They eventually turned into this thing where you can put medications in them, you can put gels and different color liquids to just put on the shelf and show what you're all about.
Something akin to what we see at the Hugh Mercer Apothecary, where in the windows they have colored vases with colored fluids in them and things of that nature, but to bring the marketing almost. It's like the bright colors and the things that catch your eye.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what this did. As we were kind of going through boxes and shelves, it's like, why is this chosen to be in here? And it actually looks really neat because the capsules are half gray and half little black and white pellets. So it's just interesting to look at, and such a neat piece. And kind of continuing on that idea of, we have these visual cues that we're working off of. I pulled a bunch of medications here that they would use to compound, but as you can see, they're different colors. We have these beautiful blue jars, there's green ones and amber. They not only were made to look pretty, like if you look at that jar, how that craftsmanship, it was also to represent things. So in a pharmacy, colored glass like blue or ambers would be for more light-sensitive medications. It's going to help protect those compounds, and that's why we still use it today in those little plastic amber pill jars or even beer bottles. But my favorite is green. I'm sure you could take a guess what green might mean.
I would say poison.
Yes. So oftentimes green would be used to represent poison. So I can't read exactly what this is, but I'm not going to open it because the jar tells me not to.
We will all thank you for that.
Yeah. So it's been really interesting to dive into everything that has been found there because we're getting such a cool look at how they're operating and just the intricacies of it all around, because some of these are already made capsules, other things you have to mix. We have some that we found here that are very dangerous, that in and of itself would actually probably kill you. But with the right ingredients, you're on your way, hopefully.
Correct. No, we've got lots of these, full jars, partially full jars. It's been really incredible to find.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm really jealous of the collection you have here, and I will say that multiple times. But kind of going down the table here, I'm going to skip over this because I love this and it's so neat. But this book we found here, and on the surface, it just says United States Dispensary. And it's the Centennial Edition, 22nd Centennial Edition. And when you open it, it is just recipe after recipe, information about different compounds, everything you need to know. But what's really, really neat is in the back of the book, we have recipes. And they are cut out, they are taped in. We have some prescriptions here from the Fredericksburg Medical Center. And if you really think about it, it's like, why is he doing this? Well, these are probably recipes that were needed frequently. Or if it's a specific person who's coming in over and over again, you're going to hang on to that quick and ready to use. So we can actually take this, and it's like a snapshot of what Fredericksburg might have been going through at the time. So there isn't a lot here, but it's just a really neat look of what things were and how we operated, and a good look of managing prescriptions before computers.
Well, no, that was something that struck me as you were showing me those items in the back. We have this full book of recipes, but you've explained that it was just something maybe more easily attainable, more frequently seen. Then that makes a lot of sense. But very interesting that with that big book, they would still pull these little things and those little recipes and tape them in.
Oh yeah, and you can imagine too. I love the chaos of it, because you can picture them just like, oh, where's that? Oh, it's in the front of the book. It's very chaotic, but it's just, there's something special about that.
There's order to in the chaos.
Exactly.
All right, very cool. We don't want to keep your time all day. We appreciate all the time that you give us. And thank you guys again for joining us on Reviving Goolricks. And we're going to keep this thing going, as I keep saying over and over again, because we've got a goal to get to, and that's opening these doors so we can enjoy those sandwiches and milkshakes with all of you. So come back and see us again next time on Reviving Goolricks.
Please follow us on all our socials to stay up to date with the latest happenings.